Oh, there you go. There you go.
Nah, there you
You know what
go.
I mean?
And
Looking
and
like
more
you
importantly,
fresh out the
w-
barber shop.
no,
Look, I
sir.
caught you as soon as you was drawing your joint, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Right, man. I
What's
got
going on, brother? What's
what's
going
going
on?
on, my man.
You know, out here, man. I'm out here looking forward
How's
to this evening.
okay. Man, I'm looking forward to this evening too. How's the fam? Everybody well?
Yeah, everybody's doing well, man. Everybody's doing well. No complaints. Just making it happen out here in these
Excellent.
U.S. streets.
Right. Shout out to the Level Up Past Corporate Trauma podcast community. Man,
Yes.
thank y'all for tuning in for our 21st episode. And make no mistake about it,
21.
21, right? And we make it a habit every week to check in with each other. That's
Mm-hmm.
important,
Yes.
right? Uh, we can't act like the person in front of you, right? The person in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror, the people around you that you do your work with,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not professional. Don't think that it's not professional to check in with them, right?
Fact.
You
That's
know
a
what I
fact.
mean? Rob's not gonna bare his soul to me on on the podcast, right? Just
Nah,
like just like just like your
nah.
colleague right next to you, they're not gonna bare their soul to you. You know what I mean? At least you probably not expecting that they would, but that doesn't mean you can't check
Mm-hmm.
in with them, make sure they're doing all right, right? You might be able to help out with something. You know what I'm saying? That's important, right? We
That's a
got to
fact.
bring the human experience back into being a professional. So we
That's a great point. Great point.
yeah we
Great
made
point.
it.
How you doing though? How are you? You always asking everybody else how they doing. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. Um, you know what I'm saying? I could be doing a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I give grace and thanks
Mm.
and uh and reverence to the fact that uh I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
contribute to the universe, to the world, what I'm able to do each and every day, whether it's a good day or a bad day, man. So
Mm.
just and this is the one of the highlights of my week. You know what I'm saying? I got a few, right? But
Mhm.
this is one of the highlights of my week, and
Nice.
and I'm always excited to do the things that I used to get in trouble for
Ha 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 ha.
back
Ha,
in
ha,
school,
ha.
right?
Come on,
Talking
man.
too damn
You used
much.
to get in trouble for a lot. So come on, man. Come on.
Yo, I was a handful. I was
That's
a
a fact.
handful, but it was nothing crazy. It was like, all right, so I'm not gonna sit there and be still all day. Y'all don't. There ain't
Mm-hmm.
no school for me. There ain't, you know what I mean. There's not somewhere I can go and be myself. Nah, because I can't be like Buddy over there in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Counting toothpicks. I can't do that, right? I engage with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yo. Word. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm doing all right, man. Thank you for asking,
No, definitely. Definitely.
bruh.
Yeah, what's going on?
We got another hot one this week.
Oh
And
yeah?
as I was thinking about this episode, man, or this tonight's conversation, it's really cool because every guest we have every week has dropped a little something in
Yes.
relation to tonight's subject, which is escaping the employee mindset,
Mm.
right? Um, because some of y'all out there are are professionals masquerading as employees. You're not an employee. Stop
Mm-hmm.
referring to yourself as an employee. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's half the problem right there. You won't
That's what it is.
you won't act you won't fess up to what you really are, which is a professional. And
Mm.
one of the ways that I define professional is it doesn't matter how many minutes you can work
Mm-hmm.
40, you can work 40 hours or you can work 40 minutes. If you get the job done and the value's there at the end of the week, right? That's the object of it. And you're a professional.
You know.
Employees, which is nothing wrong with being an employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
People have to start somewhere, and then sometimes people go through things in their life
Yeah.
where they don't want to manage the overhead,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I may have to just be an employee right now where you're exchanging time for money and
Mm-hmm.
task to be completed. But at the end of the day, man, um, a lot of people out there are professionals and are having a hard time because they're trying to fit themselves into the mindset of an employee, um, or they've been in that employee mindset so long that they've outgrown it, but they're trying to do the day to day
Mm-hmm.
things that an employee or someone with an employee mindset would do. So we're gonna dive a little deeper into that tonight. What you think? Are you one of those professionals masquerading as an employee, Mr. Felder?
Man, I ain't masquerading as nobody. I'm always I'm always trying to figure out how to get off the boat. Uh,
Right, right.
what I would say, there's a lot of responsibility with being a professional anything, right?
Absolutely.
It's one thing to be somebody who can show up and follow the arrows of where you're supposed to be. But the key word you said was accountability, right?
Yeah.
When you say, yo, I'm the professional in this, like I got
Hmm.
a special skill set, whether I'm a specialist or not, but I
Right.
do this. Like I put work in to be the best version of myself in what I do. Then that means you take accountability for the results. You take accountability for how you show up, how you interact, and a lot of folks they really just want to show up, say hello, listen to where you send them to go, listen for the things you want them to hear. They go home until Thursday or Friday when it's time to get their check. And that's what it is. And some people have that mindset. That is their mindset of like, hey, this isn't me. If I could just be home and find a way to eat another way, I would do that.
Yeah.
You
And there's nothing wrong with that if you do it on purpose. But we
know? Mm-hmm.
we got these we got these accidental professionals, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Accidental
and
professionals.
we got people turning that switch off and on. Nah, man, come out that box. What you don't be frustrated. You better step into your purpose. It
But it's not easy though.
ain't. No.
But the idea of it for some people have a hard time to fathom that they could be that person.
Absolutely.
Other people are like, I can see myself being it,
Right.
but I'm not about that life.
Right, 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 right.
I ain't about that life. Leave
None.
me out of it. I want no problems.
Yep.
I'm gone.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that
Mm-hmm. I
if you're
agree.
intentional about that.
Listen.
Like, one of my siblings
Mm-hmm.
has worked for a major retail outlet for quarter of a century, 25 years straight or more, maybe 26.
Oh wow. Okay.
And when I have a conversation with them about it, you know, what was communicated was,
Mm-hmm.
I have responsibilities outside. I have to produce revenue,
Mm.
right, to maintain
Yeah.
the um the quality of life that I've prescribed for myself and my family.
Mm-hmm.
But my priority is not being a professional. My priority is being an employee so that I can support what I'm really intending on being a professional at.
Yeah.
That's a professional sibling, that's a professional parent, that's a
Mm-hmm.
professional, child,
Mm-hmm.
helping to graduate and an aging parent, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, and that was an intentional, and I was like, wow, man, that's so powerful.
It's
Be-
very,
But
very.
then we come across a lot of people, Rob, that um want to be professionals, want to be treated like professionals, but are caught up in this employee mindset. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have organizations that put these expectations on you that only a professional would be able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But on paper, they treat you like an employee, right? And so when things are misaligned, uh, these are the first things that come out the window,
Mm-hmm.
go out the window, and that's a major cause for corporate trauma. You know what I mean?
Well, listen. The crazy thing. Um, Freedom is a mindset.
Yep.
And so many of us have this idea that somebody else is supposed to set us free,
Yes.
right? Your body can be chained, but it's what you have up here that's key.
That's
You know what I
key.
mean? So a lot of folks, they're as free as a bird when it comes down to their physical form. They got the cars, they got the house, they go on trips. And when you have a conversation with them, they as chained as a as an animal, or they're so caged, it's like being in a zoo.
Right.
So
Or
it's
worse, an elephant
situations. Mhm.
at a carnival tied to
to,
a tent post with a
to a
string.
s- to a certain right to a stake.
Yeah.
Are very, very powerful, but you've consistently run into a barrier that you swear is more of the boogeyman than anything else,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah. 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 And two things that came up for me this week, and I know that you've seen them. There's a San Francisco pizza restaurant that made national news, Rob,
Hmm.
for having an open position for an assistant manager,
Mm-hmm.
paying $70,000 a year,
Oh, damn.
which is not a lot of money up against the cost of living in San Francisco. It's not a lot of money at all, right? Like when they're paying north of $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, um, or a room.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy part that of the story that was reported is that they put this in they put the ad out, or they advertised and
Mm-hmm.
started the recruitment process for this to fill this assistant manager role.
Yeah.
They got zero applicants.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted the job. Now this is a major metropolitan
Yeah.
city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the video surfaced of the CEO that fired 900
Yeah.
of his
That was interesting.
employees or associates via Zoom.
That was
Uh,
interesting.
that was very interesting. And in the video I heard, the video I watched of it, you could
Mm-hmm.
hear people in the background. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And one
Yeah.
dude was like, "Yo, man, blah blah blah." Dropped a couple of, you know what I'm saying. So you could tell the employee mindset. You got a number of people on one hand is like, you know what, I'm not signing up for that because I'll take my chances, I'll bet on myself. And then you
Mhm.
have people who are really locked in to the comfort, or not the
Mhm.
comfort, but just the confines of you know working somewhere, which
Mhm.
is like I keep saying, nothing wrong with that. Two very interesting stories that oppose each other that came out this week. What say
Oh,
you?
yeah, listen. Let's be honest. Some of these places that people want to stay, that that offers the lifestyle, like San Francisco, that offers the lifestyle that they want, depending
Yep.
on what industry you're in, if you don't have multiple roommates, you cannot work in that industry, right? So 70 grand, and it's you, your wife, two kids, all of the like six family members
Yeah.
that help to support the household, and then maybe that works. But that if they're giving out 70 grand for the assistant manager, that means that's probably below. Might not be by a lot, but it's but most likely below the cost of living for many of
Absolutely.
these areas, especially in that particular industry.
Say you need to make a minimum of 125 grand a year to be above the cost of living.
Bro.
Crazy.
But
How
you got to
much?
pick. You have to pick where you live.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those folks. When I look at it, I try not to make up a bunch of excuses about things that I can't control.
Right.
I don't like the money, and I ask for the money, and they say they ain't giving me the money, then I'm gonna go find the money somewhere else. Right? I'm not going to argue and leave all of the chips in the other person's hands.
Right.
I'm going to take what chips I have, and I'm going to play the game that works for me. And I think so often when we think about that employee mindset and kind of moving and shifting, to like really being an owner of your time, your space, and what's to come career wise, it's one of those situations where you really got to say, am I doing what's best for me every day?
It's a
Compared
fact.
to I'm giving all I have to this company. No, but what are you getting in return? Because the dollars, which we usually confuse with what's most important, the dollar is just a byproduct, but it
Yeah,
ain't it.
it ain't it.
You know,
It
that's
ain't
not
it.
it.
And and this is what I say to that. Until one understands the employee mindset,
Mm-hmm.
nothing about a professional is going to make any sense until you understand the employee mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? But don't take it from me,
Don't take it from me.
right? You know what I'm saying? We like to bring people that we consider as subject matter experts on this. And boy, oh boy, do we have one this evening.
Yeah,
So,
boy.
yep. So I,
Oh, I caught him. I
yep.
caught.
So what's going on?
That was quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
we
you
hear
loud
you.
and clear.
Excellent.
S-
First, how you doing, Rob? Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Same here, brother.
I'm a
Same here.
Rob and Jamal fan.
Yeah.
I'm in the fan club,
Right, right, right.
so it's good to be here. I'm
Awesome.
excited. I was telling Jamal earlier this morning. I'm excited, so I'm going to try to control myself.
No, don't
It's
do that. We
your
don't want
time.
you to
It's your
control
time.
yourself.
This is your time. We gonna match you. We gonna
Yeah,
match
yeah,
you.
yeah. But
We
let
ain't
me
gonna
But
let you be out there by
let
yourself.
me let's talk about who this really is right here, right
Yes,
now.
yes. Do your job, man. Do that
Hey,
special
listen,
thing you do.
so to everybody that I'm introducing Mr. Bly to, make no mistake about it. He is a phenomenal individual, right? Um, he looks like he's about 35 years old, but make no mistake about it, he lives life where he spends no time doing things or around people that does not service his higher self. So
Mm,
he's actually 137 years old. He just looked 45. That this is the goal. He's the goal right here. You know what I'm saying? He is what you try to aspire to. He is a life coach. He is an accomplished author. Like I want to say best-selling author. He is a expert in what it is that he is um sharing with the people in his sphere of influence, and
mm,
he is um a dynamic entrepreneur that likes to teach and
mm.
bring people to the entrepreneurial side of things, right? So
Nice.
that's why his opinion and his perspective on the employee mindset is so valuable to this conversation, and I'm so excited to make to have him contribute to this dialogue because of what he has helped me understand personally, and then what I've also witnessed and seen him do for other people and other
Mm.
places. So, man, it brings me great honor to bring my personal life coach, my big brother friend, uh, Mr. Eugene Bly. Welcome to the Level Up Past Corporate Trauma podcast, sir.
Welcome.
thank you very
We,
much.
you know,
I'm
we're gonna get
to be here.
we gonna get that machine that does the voice, like the claps for us. We're gonna get
Yes,
one of them soon.
we're
We
gonna get
gotta
one of
get one of
those.
them.
We got to
That's
get sound
okay.
effects.
That's okay.
We gotta
We're
get the
gonna get some
sound
sound effects.
machine. When like
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
was sitting here. I was sitting here listening, and
Uh,
I was just taking in everything you were saying, and I said, okay. I didn't come with any notes because I want to be spontaneous.
yep.
But I want to start with this to ask the question like, what is an employee's mindset? How did we acquire it? And how do we break free from it?
mm,
So,
Whew.
what is it, first of all? And
Uh
how do
huh.
we get it? How do we get this employee's mindset? And then, how once we know that we got it, how do we break free from it? Because we came up in this mindset of go to school,
Right.
get good grades, so you can get a good job. Right?
That's
So that's
basically
the mindset. That's the 12-step program that they indoctrinated us into. And then when we passed the test, they said we were educated.
right.
Okay. So that's how we
mhm,
acquired the employee's mindset. So once we get into this mindset and we move into the professional arena, we start to try to excel in this matrix. And this matrix it's a pay scale.
Yes.
And we go in as an entry level.
Right.
In an entry level, we get 3 to 5%.
Right.
But inflation is moving us. So no matter how much money we get, if inflation is moving us, and the cost of living is higher than the inflation, then we don't really get any raise.
Right.
That's why we say, "Wow, they gave me a raise. I don't even see it." Right? Because the first 4 hours of our day we pay taxes, and then when they run your name through the payroll system, the first person they pay is Uncle Sam. Then they ask, "Well, does he have any child support? Does he owe anybody else anything?" Then everybody gets their money, and then you get yours. You get what's left. Right? And so you're trying to figure out, how can I get out of this idea? So I'll use the analogy: employment is better than unemployment, right?
Right.
But profit is better than wages.
That's
So in order to grow out of an employee's mindset, you have to come out of a wage mentality into a profit mentality. So when someone has the idea that I want to start a business, as I was sharing with Jamal today, you've been working your job for 10 years. For the last 10 years of your life, you had this employee's mindset.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're going to go out on your own and you're going to start this business. So you quit your job. And then you find out that Friday's not payday. Direct deposit is gone.
Hey, look, that's that Fred Sanford. I don't know if y'all grew up watching Sanford. You mean to tell me I don't have no direct deposit?
Ain't no more direct deposit.
No more.
So coming out of that mindset, you have to, before you can be successful in anything, you have to first understand how your own mind works.
Right.
So what are the dominating thoughts that you've been giving your mind over the last several years? And is it moving you forward, or is it holding you back? Because the purpose of life is growth. And so if you're not growing, then you're disintegrating.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yes.
So you have to ask yourself, is the education that I received, everything that I've been taught, is it serving me? And you know if it's serving you by the results that you get in your life. All you have to do is look at your results.
He's serving me.
So people make the excuse that, I'm okay doing this. No, you've accepted to be in the comfort zone. You're in the comfort zone. And you have to decide whether you want comfort or whether you want freedom. So if you decide that you want freedom, you're going to have to give yourself a different trend of thoughts. Because the thoughts that you have been living on that brought you up to this point. If you want to go to the next level, you need some new thoughts. You can't get there with the thoughts that brought you to where you are right now. So you will continue in what we call this employee's mindset, in this matrix box. And so when you work a job, they pay you what the job is worth. But you have to decide, what is your self-worth? What are you worth to the marketplace? Because you get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. The marketplace is the people. So what is your self-worth? You walk into a place and you say, you start charging for your products and services. And the first thing your mind does is fall back and say, I won't ask for what I'm worth. I'll ask for what I think they can afford to pay me.
That's a fact.
So you're stuck in this mindset.
Right.
So it goes back to, now we know how we acquired it. We know where it came from. How do we get out of it? What's the first step we have to do to get out of that mindset? Because whatever you received up to that point has only brought you to that point. So if you're making $100,000 a year, my challenge to you is that, what if you could make $1 million in a week? So now your brain starts to say, well, how can you do that? How can you make $1 million? Well, think about 1-800-Flowers. Think local, go global. They did it in a day.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. But because we have this employee's mindset, work so many hours for so much an hour, and then we get a check at the end of the week. But it's not what you're worth, it's what the job pays. But what are you worth? You have to determine your self-worth and your value to the marketplace. And the reality of it is you can't put a dollar amount on it.
That's right.
So whether you're a professional or a job person, the company could never pay you what you're worth.
Ever.
No matter what job you go to.
Yep.
They could never pay you what you're worth.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's only one of you.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you might as well stop going from, let me use this term, plantation to plantation or job to job,
Right.
because the system is the same. And so you leave one job and you go with your resume, which is your tombstone, that said, here's lies so and so, and this is what he's done.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Wow.
He said, "Call a pallbearer." I'm done.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. Resume is your tombstone. Say
Think
more.
about it. It's only a list of what you've done, but it doesn't demonstrate the value that you bring to the marketplace.
It's an obituary,
See,
Rob.
they thought I was crazy when I said your resume can never truly tell people who you are and the value that you bring.
It doesn't.
Obituary.
Because it doesn't speak about your resume does not speak about your personality. It doesn't speak about the things that really speak to who you are and what makes you who you are.
Absolutely.
It's only what they let you do.
Preach.
Right. So you have to break that barrier of those limited beliefs. Break them completely. The thing you have to do is get rid of that resume and write a new resume about who you really are and your self-worth. And then challenge yourself and put it on Career Builder. As soon as I say that, it's like comfort zone. Oh, well, I don't know if I want it. I don't know how people would accept that. So that's that limited belief. What would they think?
What would they think?
Who cares what they think?
Right.
Check this out. Most of the people that told you what to do and how to do things in life, they probably weren't smarter than you. Your supervisors and managers are probably not smarter than you. They just got a position. And sometimes I know they tell you something that's like, wow, I could have thought of something better to do than that. But you're not a supervisor or manager, so you stay in your matrix box. But let me say this to you. You will never be happy until you step into your greatness.
Never.
You will never be happy until you step into your own inner genius and answer that inner calling that's within yourself. Until you do that, you're never going to be happy. You'll only be comfortable. And comfort is not freedom. And freedom, if you don't have freedom, then you're not happy.
You can't be happy.
So what do? I'll give you my own experience. I spent 10 years listening to motivational speakers. 10 years. I get an email one day that says, hey, all the top speakers are going to do a special training for a year. Les Brown, all the top people. And they're going to give away the jewels. And the only thing you have to pay for is the long distance phone call. This was in the 90s. And that call lasted for a year. Every night, Monday through Thursday for 1 year. And they gave away all the jewels, and I took notes. I still got notes from those calls. And I was still working a job. And I was ready to move into my own business, my own enterprise. And my coach at that time said to me, it's going to take you about 24 months to come out of that employee's mindset.
Huh? 24 what?
24 months. And I was like, what? He was like, so let me get this straight. You've been working as an employee for 23 years. and you think that you're going to go out on your own,
Yes,
it's
sir.
going to happen just like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give yourself 24 months to come out of that employee's mindset.
Wow.
And he was right. And he said to me, this is what you have to do. You have to change your paradigm. In order for you to change your paradigm, you have to read certain books. You have to read these books every month for a year. And that's what I did. Because I had to create my own income. Because remember, Friday's not payday. So if I don't create an income, I don't get one. At the end of the year, if I want a raise, if I don't create a raise, I don't get one. So it forced me to really think about things and look at things from a different perspective and understand that all of this behavior that we've created from our own habitual way of thinking causes us to continuously move in the same direction, expecting something different while we're doing and thinking the same thing. And it doesn't work. So what are the books that I would recommend that people would read if they want to challenge themselves?
Right.
Because the books that you've read up to this point haven't done it for you. Because if they'd done it for you, then you would understand how to create revenue out of thin air. One of my coaches said to me, I'll teach you how to write a letter and have people send you money.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, how do you do that? And I said, okay, I'm going to try. He said, just write a couple of letters and ask for $5. Tell them you're going to send them a video or how to do something. You're going to ask for $5. And I kid you not, people were sending me $5 cash in the mail. Now I was sending a real product out. It wasn't a scam. I'm sending a real product, right. But it showed me that, wow, this is true. People want to learn how to do something, even if they're never going to do it.
That's it.
You know, how to grow flowers, how to become your own. I read the book that you can do this, but they'll never do it. They just wanted to learn how to do it. So it gets back to, what is your inner genius? What is your inner gift? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And if you keep on doing what you're doing today, where are you going to be in the next 5 years?
Stuck.
And what is the legacy you want to leave for your family? Your resume? Your job?
That might as well. Your resume is the first draft of your obituary.
Of your obituary. And
so what you tell them?
Card is your tombstone, right?
Your business card is your tombstone.
Your business card is your tombstone. So I'm challenging you to think outside of this box that we've been put in.
Right.
Because we all have gifts that we're not utilizing. There's something that we have inside of us that can help a lot of people, but we're not doing it on the level that we should be doing it. We're doing it on a small level. But we're not doing it on a big level. So it goes back to those questions. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Where you going to be in the next 5 years if you keep doing what you're doing? And how would your life change if your yearly income became your monthly income and your monthly income became your daily income? And do you believe it's possible for you? And are you willing to do what it takes to be successful?
Wow.
So if you can be honest with yourself about that, and then you go back and write that down and you start working on that and doing the work, doing the inner work, understanding that only one thought can occupy the mind at the same time.
Right.
Right. So what is my dominating thoughts? Because just like success is a habit, failure is a habit. It's a habitual way of thinking about success.
Jesus. So what are the red flags? What are the red flags? You got to help me out. I'm having anxiety over here, right? You know what I'm saying? What are the red flags, right?
I don't know if I can do it. It worked for others, but I don't know if it can work for me.
Yeah.
The biggest one, what would they think?
Right.
I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too short. I'm too fat. You know, I'm black. I'm white. Intelligence is not a nationality, nor is it a race.
That's right.
It is something that's given to you from the Creator.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And all this intelligence is around you that you're feeding on. We live in a universe that's alive. We don't live in a dead universe. We live in a universe that's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes thoughts come into your mind that gives you an idea to do something, and you don't act on it. And then years later, you see someone else do what you thought about. And you're only looking at your own denial of your own success accomplished by someone else because you did not take the action.
Wow.
So you need to stop listening to those habitual negative thoughts because we all have them.
Right.
No matter how successful you are, negative thinking is a part of it. As soon as a small issue comes up, the first thing we usually do is think a negative before we go to the positive. It's like a habit.
Yes.
Right? So you got to learn how to fix that. You got to understand how your mind works. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, the body. In order for my subconscious mind to accept anything, the conscious mind has to accept it first. Then it creates an emotional feeling that puts this body in action that causes a behavior. And if I want to change that behavior, I have to change the information that I'm putting inside of this brain of mine.
That's how you get out.
So step one is you have to think and grow rich. New thoughts.
New thoughts.
Step two, the science of getting rich. Step three, you were born a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? After reading those couple of books over and over and over again, your habitual way of thinking starts to change. Mm-hmm. And once your thinking starts to change, when you change the way you look at something, the way you look at it changes. And then you gradually begin to break that employee mindset. And you begin to break those limited beliefs. But it's a process that you have to go through.
A 24-month process.
It's a 24-month process of breaking these habitual thoughts that we've been ingrained in us since we are children. Mm-hmm. Do as you're told. Don't talk back. Don't express what you really say, what you really feel, what you think. Mm-hmm. Just go along to get along. Right?
That's true.
And then you hit, a certain age and it's like, man, I was right. I knew I was right about this all along, but I listened to everybody except for myself.
Bingo.
Right. And that inner voice has been with you all your life. And it's like, but the beautiful part of it is that it's not too late.
That's true.
So you have to really think about, okay, I have an employee's mindset. I have the sickness.
Yes.
I have the virus. I have the virus of limited beliefs.
Right.
And I need to break this. And I need to change the way I'm looking at things. Okay? Because money is the easiest thing in the world to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say that again.
It's the easiest thing in the world to get.
Look, dollar sign just flew by him just now.
Now, money is nothing but an idea.
That's it.
And ideas can be sold where merchandise can't. Microsoft was an idea. Apple was an idea that was sold before the product was invented. So what's your big idea?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Just by hearing this, your mind starts to say, okay, I can break free from this. It's nobody's fault. We don't complain, don't blame, don't explain. Mm-hmm. Now that I see it, this is what I need to do. And just remember that no one can pay you what you're worth.
Right.
They'll never get close to it. If I paid you $1 million for your life experience, because here's the reason. One day of favor is worth 10 years of labor. I can take 10 years trying to figure out how to do something. And you can favor me with one day that would save me 10 years of labor trying to figure it out myself.
Now that's a
What
gem right there.
What was the value of that?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't pay you enough.
You couldn't pay me enough.
Because you saved me 10 years of my life trying to figure something out.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And a lot of us think, I know I've been guilty of it. I'll speak for myself. You know, at one point in time that, you know, I got to figure this out by myself because everybody else must have.
Mm-hmm.
When that's not true.
It's not true.
They knew who to ask. And a lot of times they put themselves in position where people will volunteer the information.
All you got to do is listen.
Mm.
All you got to do is listen. And somebody will come along, even in my own experience, when I didn't have any money. The guy said to me, if you're thinking about the money, you're not thinking about it right. I'll show you how to do it without any money.
Mm.
He said, just listen to me, watch what I'm going to do and listen to what I'm saying, and watch me bring you into this business with no money.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first time I learned about OPM, other people's money.
Mm.
You know why? Because every dollar that you will ever get in your life, Rob, is in the possession of someone else.
That's a fact.
So you don't need the money. Right? You just need the idea. And once that idea falls on the right ears, they'll contribute to your idea.
Right.
So it's not about the money.
Mm.
See, we're thinking about, if I could no, it's not about the money. Ideas can be sold where merchandise can't.
Mm.
So if you have the idea and you present that idea in the right way at the right time to the right people, right? Then that idea is going to blossom. These are some of the ways you come out of that mindset where I don't have the money, I got to raise the money, I don't have the right clothes.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things matter.
At the end of the day, none of them matter.
It doesn't matter whether you got a suit on or whether you got flip-flops. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I call myself the flip-flop coach.
Coach flip-flop.
Explain that.
Flip-flops, right? And I'm with my little whiteboard and I'm not dressed up because why? Mm-hmm. If I come to you polished, then you won't think you can do it. But if I come to you like a normal person, you can see yourself doing what I'm doing because I'm not polished. I don't have a suit on. I'm not wearing jewelry. I'm not trying to create a false image of myself. I'm coming to you authentically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what's coming from me is jewels, right, that can take you in the direction that you want to go in, that can open your mind to new ideas, that can help you break the barrier of those limited beliefs.
Mm-hmm. And so
you can do that. You can do that now. It doesn't have to be. It's not a game plan. It's not a 90-day game plan.
Right. Yeah. So we can safely define, right, the employee mindset as a group of limited beliefs about yourself.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And who gave me those beliefs? And are they serving me?
Mm.
If they're not serving me, then I need to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Get your out of here.
That's it. It's like it's not serving me. I already learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not serving me. I need some new ideas.
Yeah.
I need a new way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can grow, excel, and prosper.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. What the best thing that you have to be successful came with you for free. Mm. It's your brain and your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you learn how to use this and understand the law of cause and effect, for every cause there's an effect, for every effect there's a cause. So if I create a thought and it goes into my subconscious mind, I get emotionally involved with this idea and I move this body into action, it creates a behavior. From that behavior, I get my results. So I just got to change what I'm putting in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get some different results. Now, people are going to say, oh, man, you crazy. Okay, just keep watching, though. Keep watching.
Keep watching.
The same people that thought I was crazy now come to me for coaching.
How about that?
How about that?
And it's like, wow, I should have listened to you.
Well, you're gonna listen to me now. Now
And
you
then
gotta
it's
pay
how
me.
much for coaching, and then then it's my highest package.
Yeah. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
And
It's
you gotta
not.
pay for the lesson. And
You got
listen,
to pay for the lesson.
you're gonna pay for what you ain't do yesterday, right?
Here's a question. Somebody comes to you and they
Uh-huh.
say, I want you to coach me into this thing that you do. And they say, well, how much would you charge me to coach me? What would you charge? Where would your mind go? Well, you know what? I've never really taught anybody how to do this. So, I'll just charge you $100. So you just sold yourself short because you paid the price to learn what you know how to do. You put in the time, energy, and effort, and sometimes money to learn how to do it. And you're going to shorten this person's learning curve.
Tremendously.
Right?
Yep.
So what would you charge? Would you charge the top dollar? Because it's like if you buy something that's inexpensive, you don't expect a lot from it. So if I charge you very little, it must not be that good.
That's the message you send.
That is the message.
Right? They did a test. They had 3 bottles of wine. And one wine was $9.95, the other wine was you heard about that test? But they were all the same wine. But because the third wine was cost more, they said it tastes better.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
Right? Perceived value, right? Perceived value based on price.
When y'all come to my house, I'm gonna make sure the top shelf. Come on, look, let's grab the stuff off the top shelf right here. I'm gonna make sure I got the sale price, the prices on them too. You want this bottle of wine? Rob, you ain't paying no $500, man. Yes, I did. Wait till you taste it.
Wait till it's like, it tastes like $500 wine. Perceived value.
Perceived value.
Perceived value.
Any questions on what I've shared so far? I hope that helps.
Man, that's a lot.
Definitely a lot, but also step by step and things that people can pick up and they can follow. That's not so far out there, but it's so valuable. Where it's like, hey, this isn't something that I gotta jump in the car, I gotta go pick this person up, go here, make an extra $50,000 before I can get to the starting gate. Right. It's one of those things where it's like, to be honest, you can start this tonight.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it.
I agree. That's awesome.
You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have to go back to school and pay, $10,000 for college education that you probably won't use. Right?
Right.
So when you talk about college, you go to college, you get a degree, and you graduate with a degree and debt. A loan you got to pay. And the job that you get doesn't match the loan that you owe. So you start off already, right? In the backfield. So how do you break that?
That's right.
It's like, okay, I just paid $50,000 for an education and I got a job for $30,000 a year.
You don't even make annually what you owe.
So what was that education really worth?
And the debt always outweighs the actual fact that you know that you owe somebody outweighs the amount of money that the debt is worth.
Absolutely.
And you know what's crazy about that? That's the thing that I struggle with so much. When you really think about, you go to school, and most schools do not talk about how what you're doing today in class, how it will impact you financially going forward. Absolutely. They teach you theory, telling you that, hey, you're going to need this to put in practice. And then ultimately, there's no accountability or responsibility for what's on the next level. And I just don't know if college was awesome. You learn so much stuff. And then you get out and there's another level of learning that you've realized that if there's so many of your friends who maybe there's some opportunities they can't jump into because some places want a college degree right?
Absolutely.
Because in many cases, they're just kind of making sure that college stays open,
Yeah.
right? But when you really think about it, your friends who was able to get into industries and didn't need the college degree, they got 4 years more experience than you do. And
Right
there's a
now.
good possibility you might never catch up to them wage wise if they went into the right industry. If they went into the right industry and you go down that employee mindset way,
Yeah.
you'll be looking and you'll be like, man, how he pull that off?
Right.
Right.
How
Right.
she pulled that off?
Yep.
Yeah.
And a theory, right, is really just somebody's story or narrative on how something worked for them. That don't
That's
mean it's
right.
gonna work. That don't mean it's gonna work for you. You
That's
have to
exactly right.
you got to build your own theory, right?
Absolutely.
Now
You
there's
got to put it
science,
to test. You got to put it to the test in the marketplace,
right?
because when the internet came along, it leveled the playing field for everybody.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the internet changed everything. So you can tonight start a business with a PayPal account and an ebook,
Mm-hmm.
Right. And still go to work tomorrow.
and still go to work tomorrow. And you can launch it tonight and wake up tomorrow morning with money in your PayPal account.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
You could sell cups, T-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a market for everything.
That's correct.
So for the first time in your life, you can launch a business overnight, and it's not costing you anything. PayPal doesn't charge you to have a PayPal account, just percentage of sales. Facebook doesn't charge you to have a Facebook account,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you have to say, well, what's your excuse? Why aren't you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Before I go, I tell you a story. I have a guy that I'm working with. He's a martial artist. He's 40 plus years in the martial arts, and he was saying, well, I don't have equipment, and I said, listen, you've been teaching martial arts for 40 years. What you should do is get a video and teach a theory class. Then have people contribute to the theory class. People want to learn how you got to where you are. They don't care about how well you kick and punch.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's creating a video series on the philosophy of martial arts in the real life. It's going to be a membership site where people are going to pay a monthly fee to him talk about the theories and principles of the martial arts.
Cha-ching.
And he doesn't have. You don't need a gi, because you're not gonna if you get in the fight, you're not gonna have a gi on anyway. So you don't need it. Right? So all this stuff we think we need, we have everything we need. It's inside of us. We just gotta learn how to pull it out.
Yeah.
And this is the best time in history to be able to do that.
To do that.
This is the best time. This is like the best time for anybody that wants to do anything. There's nothing in your way. Only thing that's stopping you is your own limited beliefs. That's the only thing stopping you. Is that noise in your head just saying, well, last time you tried that and it didn't work, and remember when so-and-so did, you see what happened to him. And then you start listening to that, and then you fall back into this, I'll just get up and, go to work and, do the best I can, right? You're accepting defeat, but you created that defeat for yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. So in this stage of the game, we're creating the limited beliefs ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually creating it for us. Is that we have to decide, I'm going to step into my greatness. I'm going to tap into my inner genius. And this is what I'm going to do. And whether you stumble and fall or whatever happens, you keep going. Everything you ever want to learn how to do is in a book.
Right. That's a fact.
Everything you want to know is somebody wrote a book on it.
Right.
And all you have to do is read the book and follow the instructions, learn from your mistakes, and keep going. You have a lot of, everybody has reservoirs of potential, as Bob Proctor says, that you can tap into.
Right.
But don't let, whether you have a degree or not is immaterial. There's 360 degrees in a circle, and they run both ways. So because someone has a degree of knowledge, I'm not impressed.
Not impressed.
But there's 360 degrees of knowledge in this circle. You have a degree of that. And that's why you practice. because you're not complete.
That's right.
Mm.
That's
So
a
don't let
fact.
anybody, whether you have a degree or you don't have none of that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Who certified the certifier? Who educated the educator?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yep.
started with one person that had an idea, and I'm going to certify you.
Yeah.
But who certified him?
Right. The only way you can be certified is by the people you teaching.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
That's your certificate right there.
Mhm.
How you,
Well, when them folks
yeah.
buy into your idea, I think it also comes back to what you talked about, just having that idea. Do
right.
you have the idea? Once you have the idea, at some point in time, people look at you as the authority,
Absolutely.
right? And now it's like,
Absolutely.
hey, I want to go and sit at the footsteps of Brother Bly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
To learn some of this common sense knowledge.
Right.
Because it's not rocket science.
It's
It's
not.
common sense.
Yep.
It's right.
Right. It's not big words. It's trial and error of what I went through in life, kept learning, went through my falls. I had,
Mm-hmm.
Oatmeal nights and, couldn't pay the cable nights and,
Mm-hmm.
every month trying to get $100 to pay the cable.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dawned on me one day, you need to stop that. You need to find a way. Can't keep doing that. Don't nobody get their paycheck thinking about what you're going to need.
Mm-hmm.
So stop that
Right.
Yeah.
and figure out if you really believe in this, you need to figure this out.
Mm.
And that's what I did. I said, well, you know what? If I don't have it this month, I'm not calling anybody.
Mm.
And then when I started working that way, the
Mhm.
creative ideas started coming to me.
Wow. Wow. So I got one question before you go.
Yes, sir.
So we understand if an individual out there understands what the employee mindset is, takes the time to come up out of it, the
Yes,
24
sir.
months, they read the
Mhm.
books, Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, and you were born a winner,
Born a
right?
winner.
On a winner.
And they jump out the window, across the bridge. I am more valuable than I can ever be paid at a job. But then Friday comes, or that first Friday comes that they don't get no paycheck, and they're like, ah, it'd all be so easy if I just go back and get that job that Rob just offered me.
Come
What would
on.
you say? What advice would you give that individual
The
right
first thing I would say to somebody is you don't quit your job until you have income in place. And the way I was taught, once you have 6 months of continuous income coming in, then it's a regular. Then you can move away. But you don't just jump ship, right? Because once you jump ship, that's it.
That's it.
You can't go back. So that's not the kind of thing that you do. So it's like what I was saying in the beginning. It's like, okay, what's my product?
Right.
Right? Who can benefit from this product and how can I reach them? And once you get that, then it's like, okay, how can I sell more of this product to more people? So you have to know, of course, all of that comes with coaching, but at the same time, what I'm saying is that you know what your product is. Let's say if you got 10 customers, there's how many ways are there to make money as an entrepreneur, right? So you have active income, which is something you sell one time. You have residual income, that's something that you sell over and over again. And then you have royalty income from your book or ebook that you created.
Mm-hmm.
So once you see those things coming in on a consistent basis, then you can walk away. It's not about selling something one time.
Right.
Right? Active income is I sell something and it's like, okay, I upsell to my residual product, then I upsell to my royalty product, then I upsell to my coaching. Once you understand what the job of an entrepreneur is, then you know how to create revenue. But the job of an entrepreneur is not to create a salary.
Wow.
The job of an entrepreneur is to bring value to the marketplace and create profit in the place of wages. That's the job of an entrepreneur, not to create a salary. Entrepreneurs don't create salaries.
Mm.
Bring
Okay, so
value.
you have all of those different ways that an entrepreneur actually creates revenue, and this happens on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Once that system is in place, you need a system that creates income,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not a sales vehicle, but a system. And once you have that system in place, and you feed that system with customers, and you understand your ratio. So I know that if I contact 100 people, I know what my ratio is. I know 5% of those people are going to come in. I know 3% of those people are going to stay. So I already know what my ratio is. So I can feed, if I'm in the right market, I continuously feed that market with information that they can benefit from. And that's why I said the internet leveled that playing field.
Right.
Because now you don't have to mail letters, and you don't have to go out and rent a hotel room and give a lecture.
Right.
You can sit at home in your t-shirt and sipping on orange juice and
Oh man,
it's
that's
real
very
talk.
Mm-hmm.
that's real talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's something to think about.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Jamal, because you've done work with me, and you're doing some stuff moving in that direction. So you know how this works.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's really, really, it's not hard to do. Once you make your first dollar online, you're gonna be hooked.
That's it.
There's like, oh my God, let me see if I can get another dollar.
Right.
Let me see if I can get $2. But it's the
Mhm.
value that you're bringing,
Right.
and anybody can do it. And once you do that, that employee mindset is going to disappear.
Mm.
Or
It's going to naturally go. It's going to become less and less inside of you, and then that genius and that giant that's inside of you, that's waiting to come alive, is going to burst out and say, "Hello, world, here I am."
That's right. Like, what happened to rubber? Woo.
He's so different now.
He's so different now.
He's so different now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. The best thing I ever learned I wouldn't trade the education for anything, because I learned from people in the marketplace that was doing it. My first coach, he created a $50 million a year business in 36 months.
Oh wow.
Mailing postcards, the U.S. mail, and a fax machine. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s. And he built a global business.
Connecting with people.
And I was like, how did you get people in Russia, in China? He said, I just taught people here and sent them to their countries.
Mm.
And I supported them on the phone. They didn't have what we have today. They just had like three-way call, conference calls. They had that, but he built a $50 million business. Yeah. And he was the first one to teach me about creating a database. And I was like, wow, that is so impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
One audio tape, they had audio tapes back then that he would mail out. And people would send for an audio tape, he'd mail it, get on the phone, talk to him, and they would come into his business, and 3 years later, he's a multimillionaire.
Mm.
So all the tools you need, the internet is giving you all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast is your new radio station.
Right.
YouTube is your new infomercial.
Right.
Social media is your new newspapers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open 24/7. Email is taking the place of direct mail.
And most of it's free.
And it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So, step into your inner genius. Get out of that comfort zone. Get out of that fixed mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about what everybody else thinks. And step into your greatness and become the person that you deserve to be in life for yourself and your family.
There we go.
There we go. Well, there you have it, folks. You just got $10 million worth of gain in less than 50 minutes.
That sounds like a book. That sounds like a book. That sounds like a product that's about to come out.
He is a book. Look at him. I mean, we didn't even have to ask him no questions.
You teasing me now.
No, man, that was
you teasing me.
No, that's excellent. Man, people out there listening, like, I hope what you heard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you like it. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it made
Yeah.
you, some of you, feel uncomfortable, right? Because um, comfort or freedom, right? Your
That's
business
it.
card is your tombstone, and your resume is your obituary, right? You're never gonna be happy until you're free, and it takes 24 months to get out of that employee mindset. But once you do, you become a different individual that people won't even recognize.
Absolutely.
These are the takeaways. And Mr. Bly, please share with the people how they can get in contact with you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share your intellectual property.
Yeah, they can actually. I'm on Facebook at the Internet Marketing Business Club. They can actually go to stepintouryinnergreatness.com and actually get actually that you see right there all the books that I have on Amazon.com, and they can get a free report if they go to Step Into Your Inner Greatness, and they can get a free report on how to come out of the growth minds, how to come out of the fixed mindset into the employee's mindset.
All
And
right.
that's a free report. Stepintouryourinnergreatness.com.
Yep. Go
Your
to
inner
Amazon.
genius. I'm sorry. Stepintouryourinnergenius.com, not the inner greatness.
Yep. And go into Amazon.com. Just put in Eugene Bly. You'll see all of the books and some videos and intellectual property that Mr. Bly has to offer. I highly encourage everybody that's looking to make a difference, make a change, and get unstuck to take advantage of the information that he brings to the marketplace. Beautiful example, great conversation. And like I say a lot, but I really mean it. Anytime you want to come back, anytime you have something to share, anytime you have something new to contribute to the marketplace, please make sure you let us know and we'll bring you back.
Absolutely.
We'll bring you
Absolutely.
back.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. And Rob, he's not playing. He is one of our biggest fans.
I'm waiting for you guys to go prime time.
Hey, listen, man.
It's a world premiere. It's a world premiere, baby. It's time to go prime time.
Listen, man. Listen. Don't start no crime. Don't start
I'm
no stuff
serious
on this
though.
one.
I'm for real though. You need to go prime time. The whole world needs to see this.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know, you need to go all the way with this. This is good stuff, man.
I'm with that one. I'm
Yeah,
definitely with that one. So,
You know, the chemistry's good.
Yep.
You know, everything is,
Appreciate
you
that.
know, yeah. So it's like I'm the biggest fan. I love seeing this kind of stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
2022. As we finishing this out, we're gonna have some new things for folks. You know, you know how when folks go, they about to do their brand new movies and they go on the radio stations. So I've already been told I can't tell y'all what's on the way. The only thing I can say is it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's
awesome,
what's
right?
up.
I can't
That's
tell
what's
you
up,
nothing
though.
else. I can't tell y'all nothing else. It's just gonna be awesome and it's gonna be dope. And we definitely gonna be leveling up. So it's gonna be real cool.
Yeah, level up. Y'all should do like a audio or MP3 recording together, and do a book together.
See,
The
look at
first
that.
year,
Yeah.
bam.
Bam.
See, I like that.
I'll be in line getting one.
Yes, sir.
I want an autographed copy.
Yes.
You
I'm
got
not
it.
joking. I want to see a book with the level up team.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. It don't have to be a hard. It just could be like the first year, how you did it, what you went through, the guests you into something. You gotta leave a legacy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just do something great, right? And then just drop it. Don't do that.
Benita said, "Do a play."
Do a play. Oh my!
I don't know. I don't know if nobody wants to see me on stage, Rob.
I'm with that. Nah, put me on stage. I'm with it.
Yeah, you know what? If you guys you walked on stage and you just talked.
Yeah, I can do that.
You don't have to be no script. Just you guys show up and y'all just talk. It's just like that's all you need.
Yeah, that's
You don't
all I
need no
need.
script. You are the script.
That's
Yeah,
right.
see, I'm with that. See, look, brother Bly. See,
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Real talk, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got it. You got what it takes, man. You just gotta. It's this is just step one. Step out on that stage.
Mhm.
And talk to more people.
Right.
You could be traveling around. Once this opens up, travel around the country and go to the college campuses. Some people are gonna be mad, but that's okay.
That's all right.
You can be mad.
Mhm.
You could be mad.
You can be mad, but you can't stop me.
Right. Like
Boom.
my great grandmother used to say, you could be mad, but you might as well get glad
Right.
because I'm not changing my mind.
That's
Mhm.
it. I
Oh
see. I
man.
see that. I see that happening.
Yeah.
I see it happening, man. It's a great chemistry. You walk out on the stage live. Come see the two men. They're in person.
Right. Right. I see that
Mhm.
too. I
Yeah,
do.
that's hot right there.
Yeah.
The world is
Mhm.
waiting. Don't
Right.
keep them waiting forever.
That's right.
Step
Right.
into your inner genius.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh,
Awesome.
Thanks a
all
lot
right,
for having me.
Seafood.
I
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
We
Thank
All
you
right.
so
appreciate
Yes,
you.
much.
sir.
We
All
appreciate
right.
you.
We
All right.
appreciate
Peace.
you.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. Enjoy
Peace.
your night.
Yeah.
Yo, Rob.
What it
That
do?
man might have said your business card. It's your
Listen,
tombstone.
nah,
Your
man. No,
resume
he said no.
is an obituary.
That's it's real interesting when you really look at it from what people. I'm happy he said that, man, because when you really when you think about it, your resume is a tombstone, especially for your career. It's all
Because
it's all the
it's
places.
not a living document.
It's the places you've been.
That's it.
You know,
It's
and
dead.
the craziest thing about it, I hope people realize what that really means. What what it mean? I'll share what it mean. What it means to me.
Okay.
So many people focus on what someone has done, which is a big part of it,
Right.
which kind of gives you an idea of the foundation, and that's all they focus on. And then they get mad when that person is unable to do anything else. Right? When you're looking for someone to do something different, to bring things alive, instead of getting so caught up asking about what's on that resume, let's talk
Yeah.
about the skill sets and competencies that you have that are relatable, that are transferable, that fit with what we're looking for.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they people are so focused on what you've done because all they really are concerned with is can you do what I'm getting ready to tell you to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's no all right. I just want you to come here. I want you to bring you. I love you these experiences, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
more interested in what you getting ready to create. You
Listen,
know, behind the moniker or the banner of what it's such and such organization because we believe in what you getting ready to bring.
you know what, more? You know when I realized that the resume wouldn't do me justice? It was when we was out coaching, all the young folks, probably like 8 or so years ago, and I'm talking to them, and the question hit me, and I said, "Well, do you feel like the resume really truly represents who you are?"
Right.
And just when I look back on that whole entire thing, it hit me. That's why I asked them the question, because I'm like, my resume really can never bring to life the real value that I bring. Now, some people who are like resume gurus and all this other stuff, they'll say, "Rob, would that mean your resume just isn't great?" But
Right.
I would challenge them and I would say, my my ability to connect, like though when you see people put things on a resume, or my ability to connect, or my ability to communicate, you just look at that as like, oh, okay, they just talking. That's regular stuff. My ability to connect, right? My ability to speak about things a certain way, as
Mm-hmm.
well as my personality,
Yep.
I know for a fact is like the biggest part of what I bring to the table. Like, for outside of all of these master degrees, these things that I've done,
Yep.
my ability to like really sit there, analyze something, and then internalize it and say it in a Rob Felder way
Yeah.
is the separator between me and other. That's the divider between me and other people. And
And
I
you can't
realized
put
that you can't. What I'm gonna
you
put on the
can't
resume?
put that on the resume.
What would I say?
And
Trust
if you
me.
and if
Trust me. Like if you
right.
meet me, and I tell people, folks, I tell people all the time, and I say this piece and I let you go.
Yeah.
I
Trust me.
tell folks all the time, there are some people who you see online, who you see on TV, who you see in rap videos, who you see on social media. They are the dopest people on that screen. And when you meet them in person, it gets strange. If you think I'm strange now, when you meet me in person, you like, yo, this is the dopest dude. He's strange. He could be weird and quirky and everything else, but he is better than what I imagined him to be by watching him online. And I know that about myself.
Right.
Same way I know it about you. It's like whatever you
Yep.
see here with us, it's multiplied in person. And I know for a fact that there are other people you could say, oh, it's because they're famous. No, you can't hide genuine pieces of who you are. And for me, I believe some people, when it transfers from being virtual to being in person, they shrink.
Mm, that's a fact.
Where you and we expand.
Right.
Even on the days when we don't want to talk to people,
Right.
we still expand, and people are going to feel our presence, and they're going to
Yes.
know that we're in this room because that's just the type of people we are.
Right.
That doesn't work on the resume.
It doesn't. And if you could articulate it on a resume, Rob, right?
You tell me. Go ahead, because you're about to make
If
$1
you
million
could,
tonight.
if
Oh,
you
okay, you said if.
if if you could put all of that what you just articulated on a
Mhm.
resume, nobody's going to read it.
Darn.
Nobody's going to read that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like, because people are not read your resume. They spend 30 to 45 seconds on your resume.
Mhm.
What Rob is trying to articulate is not good. You're not gonna take time to read it. You got to meet them. You got to see them, right? And it used to be right who you know, right? It
Mhm.
used to be like who you know. That's
Mhm.
that's no. Now it's who knows you.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people out there getting jobs because people are hitting them up because they know them,
Mhm.
right? Not you hitting somebody else up because somebody else told you might want to talk to that person. So, or because somebody that knows you got it. You use them as a linchpin for an opportunity. Now, opportunities are reaching out to the people that the opportunities know, right? And they're not going to know you by your resume. Not in this information age, not with this YouTube out here and this internet and social media and these podcasts. And it's not going to. So let's
Listen,
break
man,
outside of that employee mindset, man.
I will tell you right now, and I tell folks, and I am completely honest. If anytime I get to a company and I went to a brand new company, and as I'm sitting there and I start getting like people like, yo, you are awesome. Like, I truly appreciate you. I like that you are here.
Right.
You bring something different to the table. But I make sure that I highlight something for them. One, I say I appreciate the person who co-signed for me,
Right.
right? Who opened the door. And I
Yep.
said, second, I would not have gotten in through the system normally
Nope.
because you're not looking for special fish like me,
Nope. You
right?
don't even know. You don't even know what you're looking for.
Because to be honest with you, the crazy thing, I don't go to somebody's company like, yo, I'm looking to just be an employee. Like, I'm like, listen, I'm looking to go in this piece. I got some things to grab and some things to learn, and then I'm either moving up to learn some more. Or I'm on my way, and I'm okay with that. And but everybody isn't like that, and in the career space isn't like that. Everybody thinks that wherever you are, it's supposed to be a marathon and not a sprint,
Right.
right? And for me, I go in figuring out, is it a marathon or a sprint?
Right.
And once I decide that it's a sprint, our interactions shall
Change.
be in
Right.
that way. Like
Right. Right. Right.
I will adjust accordingly because I'm like, okay, this is not something that's long term. Let me figure out how I maximize my value here
Yep.
and get what's necessary, because this won't be somewhere that I will be long term
Right.
compared to if it's a marathon. If it's a marathon, I'm like, okay, we got time to marinate this chili right here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We got time to make sure all the ingredients get deep up in there, and we can do all of these different things as we throw it in the pot and let it simmer. I can do that because I
Right.
understand what race I'm running.
Right. And that's the big piece of it, understanding what race this is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, another great one in the books. Folks out
Yes.
there, this is episode 21. My jersey number from college. Episode 21, right? So we are going to go on a few week hiatus. We're not leaving. We are
Boom.
we are retreating. We're taking a step back so that we can bust out the gate a little stronger, a little quicker, a little swifter, and plus it's that time of year where we want to give our audience the opportunity to, kind of kick back and self-reflect with the new times coming in, be with people that they love, and then we got X amount of episodes out there that you can go back and take a look on the platforms that we have so graciously been able to share this podcast on. So if you're on our LinkedIn side, if you're on our YouTube side, if you're on our Facebook side, but soon we're gonna be on all audio, and or as I'll put it like this, as many audio and audio visual podcast platforms as we can get on, as many that make sense. And then we're gonna come, out the gate, right? 2022, doing this thing a little bigger, a little better, a little faster, a little stronger. You know what I'm saying? We learned a lot. Oh man. So man, and this is awesome. We have had such a great time with this and closing out 2021 with Master Bly, Eugene Bly, life coach, author, entrepreneur, and life coach, as well as and closing out our this cohort of episodes. Um, that went by real quick, Rob. 21 in the book.
But you know what's crazy? And I want to make sure I say this so people understand. And this goes back to what brother Eugene Bly was saying. It's about getting started.
Yep.
And it's so often, oh, I need this to be this. I need this to look right. Like even tonight, and I was telling Jamal, but my lights in here are brighter than what they used to. I couldn't get my other camera to work. And when I tell you, I'm over here kind of squinting because these lights too bright for my little eyes. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, all right, how I'm gonna make this work? But a lot of times it's not about you, it's about the work.
Yep.
And sometimes that's the piece that we fail to realize when we're talking about, one, bringing value to the marketplace, but most importantly, when we're talking about operating within our space of blessing. Sometimes it's not about, no, most times, if not all the time, it's not about you. It is about the work.
That's right.
Get to it and get it done.
And take yourself out of the equation. Because you love what you do. Stop masquerading as an employee when you're a professional out there, ready to bring value to the marketplace. And
there you go.
And become alive, man. But this is great, man. Escaping the employee mindset. Remember, corporate trauma is a sneaky passive trauma that will creep up on you. And when it does,
it's time to level up. That's a pregnant pause.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? See y'all in a couple weeks.
Oh man. Yes. Be blessed.
All right, my bro.
Enjoy the holidays. All right, bro.